Whenever someone asks what the most dangerous breed of dog, which breed pops into your head immediately? Anytime you hear about a dog attack on the news, it's that same thing, a pit bull. But is that fair to pit bulls? I've raised a 100% pit bull terrier from 12 weeks old to 6 years old, and I've done countless research on the breed in order to better understand them. Pit bulls are the most demonized breed, while at the same time shelters are full to the brim of abandoned, abused, and traumatized pit bulls. In order to create a better life for all those pit bulls out there, we need to dispel the myths and tell the true story of pit bulls. So today I'm going to prove why breed-specific legislation to ban pit bulls is ineffective, pointless, and harmful to an already traumatized breed. Pit bulls are already the most abused dog in the USA. Banning people from owning them will only further cause more harm to the breed. Pit bull or pit bull mixes already make up 50% of dogs in shelters, according to the ASPCA. And those who support banning of pit bulls will talk about how they're the most dangerous breed and how the bite of most and how they have a locking jaw mechanism that's only in pit bulls. But all of these myths do is harm the pit bull breed. Pit bulls have no locking jaw mechanism to speak of, and there's never been any truth to this myth designed to scare people. The CDC gathered data to make a graph that measures dog bite-related fatalities, and pit bulls were not even near the top of that chart. They were actually lower than even Great Danes and Huskies. And if you take a look at the real statistics related to pit bulls, a different picture is painted. One study by the American Veterinary Medical Association found that media reports on bite-related incidents had a breed identification error rate of over 40%, and that valid breed identification was only possible in 17% of all incidents. And another study done at Tufts University found that breed was not even a risk factor when it came to dog bites. Irresponsible ownership was the number one factor for risk. Another study done by the National University of Ireland found that there's no difference in medical trauma treatment required following a dog bite from a breed stereotyped as dangerous, like pit bulls, versus your standard lab or retriever. These misconceptions lead dogs labeled as pit bulls to stay in shelters 3 times as long as other dogs, according to a study by Lisa and Gunter. A label of a pit bull can mean the death for a certain dog, and banning the ownership of pit bulls would cause even more to enter shelters to be euthanized. Pit bulls even scored similar temperament measurements to golden retrievers, which are the perfect family dog to most people. So we need to take action to restore the tarnished reputation of pit bulls and stop the breed-specific legislation against them. There are 0 peer-reviewed studies that conclude that any one breed of dog is inherently more dangerous than any other. But we have multiple that conclude that breed does not determine risk, and breed-specific legislation is ineffective to reducing dog bite incidents. A huge problem with the breed-specific legislation is that it's just based on appearance of a dog, regardless of what even the DNA says about that dog. And the breed-specific legislation does not address any of the real factors found to be most significantly linked to dog bite incidents, such as a history of negative behavior in the dog prior to dog bite incidents and factors related to irresponsible ownership. It is important for us to get the real statistics backed by science and out there about dog bite incidents instead of demonizing a breed that we need to look at and see if the owners are irresponsible or they've been treated poorly. And we need to start taking breed-neutral approaches to dog bite prevention. For instance, instead of focusing on a specific group of dogs, we should look at our treatment of animals as a whole. We can increase funding for animal control departments in order to hire additional staff, improve public awareness of dog-related issues, and promote educational programs on the free and include free spaying and neutering so that we have less abandoned dogs. We need to focus on the reporting of irresponsible ownership to reduce the number of neglected and abused animals out there that are out and dangerous. Implementing registration programs for breeders in order to curtail the pit bull puppy mills will also help a lot to bring down the population that's already in the shelters. And we also need to increase fines and penalties for irresponsible owning and breeding. I've shown that demonizing and banning pit bulls does not make any safer place for anyone, and it creates more problems for an already hurt and neglected group of dogs. These options will actually make it safer for all of us while increasing the quality of life for the dogs. And it protects us from the irresponsible people responsible for these incidents. And what will happen if we sit by and do nothing? The continued smear campaign against pit bulls will just continue to cause millions to be killed and even more to be abused and neglected. And not just pit bulls are affected. Any dog that looks somewhat like a pit bull is put under that curtain. If more places ban this, there will be no homes for them to go to. People won't be able to adopt these dogs. And they will just have to keep euthanizing more and more dogs. And the more the focus is on banning breeds, the less focus there is on actual making changes supported by science that will improve safety for everyone. And we will curtail the dog bites and dog bite related deaths. If we truly want to do the right thing and make people safer while helping a desperately needed dog and start looking at the irresponsible owners. In general, pit bulls have been made a scapegoat by ignorant people and the media looking for sensational stories and clicks. So now people want to brand them as a dangerous breed that needs to be banned. However, the facts show that breed is not even a factor in the risk of dog bites, and pit bulls have been wrongly branded as evil. Pit bulls have had to endure the hardship that comes with being stereotyped. We need to enact breed-neutral regulations against irresponsible owners to make any real change. They've endured neglect and abuse for so long now, and they're the most common dog in the United States and the highest euthanization rates. Education on real facts about dog bites and pit bulls will prevent further harm to these dogs. We can make real changes by implementing breed-neutral legislation against irresponsible owners and breeders. For the sake of every innocent dog out there, we need to take a look at what we're doing and stop demonizing these pit bulls.